keep holding on to now.
Good morning, Laguna. Welcome to Wake Up Laguna, our go-to show for spiritual awakening, personal transformation, and deep conversations about the soul. I'm Rick Jorgensen, your host and guide on this journey of self-discovery and enlightenment. Whether you're just starting your journey or you've been walking this road for years, this space is for you, a place to awaken, reflect, and grow. So take a deep breath, settle in, and get ready to open your heart and mind to the possibilities. Because here on Wake Up Laguna, we're not just waking up to a new day, we're waking up to a new way of being. So let's get started. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning here in Laguna Beach. Sun is just coming up over the hills. I can look out the windows here of the studio. It's absolutely gorgeous. And today, on today's show, I've got a couple of things that I want to focus on with you. In the first hour, I really want to focus on sending out healing energy to all those folks in Los Angeles that have been affected by the wildfires and devastation that those wildfires have brought. And it's a still ongoing situation there. It's not yet over, unfortunately. So one of the things that we're going to do, and that I have for you, is I've got a fantastic guided meditation that was done live this past Sunday by RJ Spina, one of my spiritual teachers. And RJ did this unbelievable live event that had thousands and thousands and thousands of people sending out this love and healing energy through this meditation. So I'm going to play this for you, and I would encourage you to participate if you're not driving your car. If you are, just listen through it. It's a beautiful meditation. Certainly you can send out your intention while you're driving out to those folks in Los Angeles. And if you're not, then you can participate in a comfortable space in your home or your wherever you happen to be. Before we get into that, as always, I want to start out with this 5-minute guided meditation for gratitude. Great way to ground yourself, get your day started. Think about, feel what you're truly grateful for. So let's get into that, and then after that, I'll introduce RJ and his meditation for the wildfire victims.
Hello, and welcome to this quick guided meditation to slow down and be grateful. I'm Sarah Raymond with The Mindful Movement. I'm grateful you have joined me today. It is so easy to become swept up in the seemingly relentless demands of a busy life. In doing this, you might find that you lose focus on the present, or you might feel as though you don't have the time to stop and appreciate life's gifts. It is true that meditation is a practice, and it can create change when you make the time to practice it. But even when you are short on time, it is important to prioritize what matters most. You can always find time to be mindful, even if just for a few minutes. You might find that closing your eyes to tune out the outside world for a moment makes it easier to bring your awareness inside. So you may choose to close your eyes now. And let's begin this practice with some gentle breathing. Notice the rhythm of your natural breath. Take in a slow breath and experience the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Our breath is constant and reliable. It tethers us at all times to the present moment. just by tuning in to the steady rhythm of your breath, you are immersing yourself in the energy of life, the energy that propels you forward and connects you to all other life on this planet. Observe whether your mind is in another place or if it is here right now. Can you allow yourself to let go of your thoughts for a moment? Can you allow your mind to be silent, except for hearing the sound of your breath? Now, notice where you are carrying tension in your body. Can you allow your clenching muscles to let go? Ask yourself, how do you feel in this very moment? Can you sense the peaceful energy of life flowing through you, invigorating you with every breath? You are the embodiment of this lively energy. Your body is a miracle and a gift, the vehicle through which you have the privilege of experiencing this beautiful world. Take a moment now to find something or someone to appreciate. Sense the feeling of gratitude within you. And send it outward to the world around you. In a moment, you will open your eyes and come out of this state of stillness and peace. But do your best to move forward with your day with a residual feeling of gratitude. As you continue on with your day, I challenge you to continue cultivating gratitude. Perhaps you can even find something positive out of an experience that seems negative at first. Now, we will end this practice with a deep breath, breathing in love and breathing out eternal appreciation. Thank you for practicing with me today. I am grateful that you did. I hope you have a joyful day.
What a wonderful, wonderful way to start our day with that type of meditation for gratitude. As I said at the top of my show, I've got a very special meditation for you now that's focused on helping the victims in the situation caused by the LA wildfires. It's by one of my spiritual teachers, Spina, who will be conducting it. He did it live this past Sunday, and there were thousands and thousands and thousands of people that participated. This is the type of thing that I truly believe can make a big, big difference for those folks. Yes, there are practical ways that you can help them. You certainly can go down that route. I encourage that as well. But I think this is a way that we can all send that healing energy to all of those people that were affected, the animals that were affected. So let me go ahead and get this started. If you're in a safe place, I encourage you to participate in this meditation. If not, just let it wash over you. Listen to it. It's beautiful. You'll enjoy it. I'll see you on the other side.
All right. So, as I said in that as I said in that video that I did the other day, a couple of days ago, this is not news to anyone on the planet. What's been going on? And I'm talking about specifically what's happening in Southern California. So, but what might be news to some people is the power that we actually have to make changes in the outside world as we are making changes and addressing internally, because really there is no outside world. Everything is happening within your consciousness, everything. And I know it's a wonderful illusion, but it's an illusion. I promise you, it's an absolute illusion. It's all happening within the screen of your consciousness. So by working with yourself and then ourselves in a much more higher frequency, evolved way, the outer world simply reflects that. And so this meditation, even though we're going to hit some very specific locations, not just Southern California, by the way, even though this is very specific in terms of the locations that we're going to be hitting, this meditation is for everyone and anyone who is suffering in any way. Okay. Now, before we get started, there's one more thing I want to go over. I know many human beings struggle with meditation. Those of you that are more familiar with my work no longer struggle with meditation. But one thing that'll help anyone in terms of meditation is setting the intention. So let's set the collective intention right now and do this every time that you're going to meditate. And hopefully more and more of the planet is shifting into this perpetual state of meditation, which is part of the teachings that I share, that you stay in this flow state, you stay in this present state. And then there really is no in meditation and out of meditation, because the self is meditation. That being said, let's all right now let go of the chat a bit and let's start focusing in together on setting our group intention for this meditation. Now, as an individual, a temporarily individualized unit of consciousness, I want you to set the intention right now that this meditation is going to be for you. Set the intention that this meditation is going to be expansive, powerful, and life-altering. Set that personal intention right now that this meditation that we're about to do is going to be expansive, powerful, and life-altering. Now, as you say that to yourself using the silent inner spoken word, I want you to start to already feel what is happening within you as you state that intention. Recognize and become mindful what is already happening just by setting the intention. And now also know that that inner reality that you're creating within yourself is the emanation that creates the outer reality. The frequency that you are emanating is what creates the outer reality. And there is nothing more powerful than humanity's collective harnessed intention. Nothing is more powerful. Very good. Okay. Let's start with what I call the proper or optimal meditative position or posture. Okay? So at this moment, everyone, let's disregard the chat, and I want you to focus on the sound of my voice and what our intention is. Okay. Now I'll demonstrate it, but I've taught this before in the other meditations, okay? Optimal meditative posture, which has to do with energy flow. It has to do with your body, not sensations within your body, not occupying your mind and therefore taking you out of your focused, harnessed intention. Okay, so, excuse me. What I'd like everybody to do, most of you are probably seated, most likely. Okay, so what you want to do is put your feet, so all of your feet are touching the ground, the floor, like this, right? Don't be up on your toes or up on your heels, okay? So flat. Back straight. And now what I want you to do, just let your hands, let them fall to the uppermost part of your thighs, wherever they land, and palms up, by the way. Wherever they land is probably the right place, because they're not stretched down and they're not pulled up, which would just eventually create discomfort, and that sensation will then occupy your mind and detract from the power of our harnessed intention. So let your hands just fall on the uppermost part of your thighs with your palms up. Now, what I'd like you to do is to lower your head slightly and have just a soft gaze. Soft gaze means there's no analysis going on based upon what your physical sensory perception, specifically your eyes, are picking up. You're not analyzing. So tilt your head slightly down and have a soft gaze that lands roughly about 6 feet in front of you. Whatever that lands upon, it doesn't matter. So I want you to go ahead and do that. And again, soft gaze, no analysis. Now, what I also would like you to do is to open your mouth slightly, your jaw, like this. That releases tension in the neck and in the jaw. And now what I'd like you to do is to let your tongue sit in the back of your mouth like a clam in its shell. So mouth slightly open, and remember your head is tilted down, soft gaze, mouth open, and let your tongue sit in the back of your mouth like a clam in its shell. Very good. Now, from this moment on, I'd like you to close your eyes. Now, for those that meditate with their eyes open, and I've taught that, you can keep them open, but most of us meditate with our eyes closed. This would be the time to close your eyes if you're going to proceed with eyes closed. So go ahead and close your eyes. All that matters is that you can hear me. So go ahead and close your eyes. Very good. Okay. Just focus in on the sound of my voice and feel the intention that we already set. Feel the intention that this meditation will be expansive, powerful, and life-changing. Very good. Okay. I want us to take a big, deep breath in through the nose. Let's do it now. Hold it. Exhale out the mouth. Again, in through the nose. Hold. Exhale out the mouth. And one more time, utilizing the diaphragm and really empty out on the exhale. So big, deep breath in using the nose. Focus on the diaphragm. Let's breathe in. And again, hold. Exhale. Very good. Many of you, your mind is already calm, still, and the body is already feeling hollow, like it's simply just a projection of your consciousness, which is exactly what it is. Very good. Okay. Now what I want you to do is take your pointer finger and your middle finger of either hand, right or left, it's irrelevant. The pointer finger and the middle finger on one hand, and I want you to place it the top of your head, nice and gently. So the tip of your most likely middle finger is gently touching the very top of your head. And keep it there. Now, what I want you to do is to bring all of your attention to the recognition of the sensation of touch on the top of your head. No analysis. Bring all of your attention to the recognition of the sensation of touch on the top of your head, and keep all of your attention right there. Very gently, while maintaining your focus, your attention, very gently, imagine a hand, your hand, coming up through your head to touch your fingertips. So almost you're reaching out from inside your head to touch your fingertips. Gently and slowly. Now, what will start to happen is it'll feel like a change in pressure, like your skull cap, like when you take off a baseball cap and that pressure is released. You may start to feel tingly sensations and a release of pressure at the top of your head as you do this. Now, what we're actually doing is extending and opening our crown chakra. That's actually what's happening. Now, once you have the tangible sensation of your hand reaching out from inside your head, touching your fingertips, and you feel a change in pressure and almost like a tingly sensation around the rim of the top of your head. Once that is occurring for you, I want you to stay with that and put your hand down and let it rest on the uppermost part of your thigh, palm up. Maintain the focus and attention of your extended crown and open crown chakra. Again, no judgment, no analysis, no wondering, am I doing this right? Is it supposed to feel? Turn that conditioned mind off. Okay, very good. And now with your palms up on the uppermost part of your thighs, the crown chakra open and extended, what I want you to do is start to imagine a waterfall above your head. And this waterfall of energy, I want you to allow it to start cascading down into your open and extended crown chakra. I want you to imagine what that feels like. I want you to imagine what that looks like. Remember, there is no analysis, there is no judgment. Imagine what this looks like and imagine what this feels like. This high frequency, powerful, intelligent, healing energy is flowing into you. And all you have to do is allow it to, because it's always there. Allow yourself to be a conduit for this high frequency energy to begin coming through you. You are simply allowing yourself to receive, that is all. And imagine what it looks like and imagine what it feels like. And this waterfall of high frequency energy never wanes. It's always there. It's always what is. Now I want you to start to recognize as this energy is coming in through you, where it's starting to go within your body. Many of you might start feeling it in the center of your chest. Almost like a warmth, right smack dab in the center between the heart and the spine. Again, there's no thought process and there's no analysis. This is you simply being in flow with what is. Start to recognize how different your body is feeling. More empty, more hollow. And notice how it's quickly become less of a concern of yours. Very good. Okay. Now what I want you to do is to imagine that you are growing in size. You are expanding, almost as if you have no boundary. The body is just a memory. Imagine yourself being formless and massive. Imagine what that feels like. Imagine what that looks like, to be so big, to be so massive, to be so all-encompassing that Southern California can fit between your two hands. That's how big you are. Bigger than a giant. The size of your higher self. Now I want you to become aware of the energy that has started to settle in the center of your chest. I want you to allow it to come out or extend, almost like you've turned a light on, a flashlight, and it's now emanating outwards from your heart. Imagine what that looks like and imagine what that feels like. This gigantic, massive you. Beyond measure. And now I want you to feel that same emanation that's coming out your heart. I want you to start to feel and recognize that the same thing is happening with the mini chakras in the center of your palms. That this high frequency energy that is coming through you is emanating out your heart and emanating out of your palms. And by being present and surrendering with our intention, you can effortlessly maintain this state. Effortlessly. Now, what I want you to do is put Southern California between your two hands. And I want you to bring it close to you. And I want you to bring it close to your heart. And I want you to allow all the energy, all the love that is flowing through you to completely and utterly encapsulate Southern California and everyone there. And I want you to imagine what it looks like for all the fires to go out. I want you to imagine what that feels like as you emanate that. This massive you who can encapsulate all of Southern California between your hands. See it and feel it. The fires are out. As all is revealed, our harmony is sealed. Allow all to be revealed. and our harmony is sealed. Allow all the pain to be released. And we are forever at peace. Allow all to be released. And we are forever at peace. I want you to see all the fires are now out. The smoldering has stopped. The suffering has stopped. Now I want you to bring your attention, your focus, to North Carolina. I want you to see it in your mind's eye. And it's the same thing. Put North Carolina, hold it, all of it, and every one between your hands, and bring it close to your heart. And let this flow of energy that's emanating through you, let it heal all those who are suffering. And as all is revealed, our harmony is sealed. Allow everything to be released. And we remain at peace. Imagine what that looks like. And imagine what that feels like. Now I want you to realize that we are even bigger and more powerful than this. I want you to imagine the entire globe between your two hands. Feel all the love, all the high frequency energy just pouring through your heart and your hands. Hold the globe between your hands and bring it close to your heart. And allow all this love, all this high frequency energy to bathe the entire planet. And to heal all those who are suffering. Now I want all of you to join together as one. All of us are one consciousness, enveloping this planet with this supreme healing high frequency energy. All of us come together now. Imagine what this looks like. Imagine what this feels like. Imagine the entire globe and everyone in it is within your embrace. Within our embrace, within our heart. And allow that love to consume and transform and transmute all ill will. Now, who are you in this moment? Is there a you? All is released. And all are at peace. See it, feel it, be it, and do it now. Let our collective embrace around this globe, enveloping the globe, bathing the globe, allow our connected embrace to begin to fan out to even wider than the globe. It's starting to take in the space between us and the moon. And now the moon. See it. Imagine what it feels like. Enveloping that body with our love, with our power. Let it keep stretching out. Let it start to go out to the other planets, our embrace is getting wider. And it has no limitations. Let it keep getting wider and wider to take in all the planets of our solar system, all of them. See it. Feel it. And do it now. If you have recognized an inability to move your body, perfect. That's because all of your focus, all of your attention, all of your intention is beyond the illusion of your body. Now I want you to bring this in. I want you to bring in this embrace. Bring it into the country that you're in. This massive you is now embracing your local country. Do it now. And bring it in even more to your state or province or region. Bathe it, encapsulate it, hold it, bring it to your heart. And do it now. Do it for the city you live in. The town, your neighborhood, your home. Your family. And yourself. This feeling, this frequency, this emanation, this intention of providing relief goes to everyone and everything that is suffering in any way. Including you. And all of us, let's send one more massive, massive energetic pulse of our intention to Southern California. Harness it and send it again now. Now, without changing your state of being, without changing your state of consciousness, without changing the energy that is flowing through you as a perfect conduit, without changing any of that in any way, open your eyes. And I want you to recognize how you feel different. And realize that it is that creates the outer world. Well done.
Thank you, RJ, for that beautiful meditation. I'm going to let this gorgeous song by my friend Angie Hipple take us into the next hour, and I will see you on the other side.
No KXRN LP, Laguna Niguel, Laguna Beach. KXFM on 104.7, KXFMradio.org.
Hey there, Laguna. I'm Janice Murray with news. What puts out fires? Water, of course, and our city leaders say they have plenty of it. Since the big fire through Mystic Hills in 1993, Laguna has added 2 new reservoirs, adding 8 million gallons of water storage, a vast improvement with new monitoring systems and surveillance cameras. In 2019, Laguna Beach appropriated $25 million for water in their fire mitigation plan and has worked with Newport Beach on building a new well. But depending on the wideness of water, every reservoir can run out. So additional expansions are planned for today's more extreme conditions. And I'm Janice Murray for news on KXFM.
Janice Murray's broadcasts are sponsored by individual Laguna Beach residents who support public nonprofit radio.
Hi, this is KXFM meteorologist Dave Murray. Happy Wednesday, everybody. A dry start to this rainy season. It continues. So far here in Laguna, we've had 0.16 of an inch of rain since October 1st. That's incredible when you consider the last 3 wet winters that we've had. Obviously, we are way, way below average, and still a weak Santa Ana for us today. Bone dry atmosphere. You can feel the chapped lips and the irritation in your eyes. And it looks like we could still see a sprinkle over the weekend. But again, I'm not holding my breath. The atmosphere is just too dry. And then here we go again. Santa Ana returning for next week. Fairly early next week, but it's too early to call its intensity. On this Wednesday, sunny, breezy, gust today, 20 to 25, especially in the afternoon. 66 at the beach, 68 the mountaintop, the canyon, 65. Clear and breezy tonight, 46. And then on Thursday, sunny, light winds on Thursday, 62. That's my forecast. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray. Tune in, turn on to KXFM 104.7, Laguna's Community Radio.
Hey, good morning, Laguna. You're back. We are back to waking up Laguna. This is Rick Jorgensen. I'm your host. Had a fabulous first hour. Big focus on sending healing energy, love to all the people that are affected by the fires up in L.A., wildfires in L.A., and it's still an ongoing situation. So just send your love, send your positive energy to them. Help in any way that you want or can from a practical standpoint. But that love and that healing energy coming from all of us is so, so important and absolutely will have an impact on the lives of the people that have been affected. In my second hour today, I've got an interview with Daniel Scranton. I had him on the show last year. I'm going to bring that back. It's a great interview. Daniel is an amazing channeler, intuitive healer, and he has a lot to share. Really, really good guy. Daniel definitely has some connections here in Laguna Beach. He'll talk about that in the interview. But let's just get right into it, because I think you're really going to enjoy this interview with Daniel, and I'll see you on the flip side.
So today we're diving deep into spiritual awakening and higher dimensional communication with our special guest, Daniel Scranton. Daniel is a renowned channeler, spiritual teacher, and author who has connected with beings such as Ninth Dimensional Arcturian Council, Archangel Michael, and many others. His mission is to empower individuals to embrace their spiritual gifts and align with their highest potential. Welcome, Daniel.
Thanks for having me, Rick. It's great to be here.
Yeah, and I understand that you do have a little bit of history here in Laguna Beach.
Yeah, I've channeled down there a few times. Well, I say down there because I was living up in Long Beach.
Yeah.
I lived in Long Beach for over 8 years, and I've made my way down to Laguna and San Diego County many times to channel.
Right. And specifically here in Laguna Beach, I think you told me you were, whereabouts were you doing that? At the
Float Lounge.
Float Lounge, yes.
few at like people's private homes.
Yeah, the float lounge, favorite spot. That was a great spot. I wish it were still around, but alas, it is not. So Daniel, let's start with your journey. How did you discover your ability to channel, and what inspired you to pursue it as a path?
Well, I was always a channeling enthusiast from the moment that I found it in late 2002. I found Conversations with God. I started getting into the Seth books after that, and then I found Abraham. And with Abraham, I was able to follow Esther and Jerry around the whole planet. I actually came to Australia for the first time on a cruise ship with Jerry and Esther, and now I live here. So, but I went on 8 of their cruises. I would fly all over the country to go to their workshops. I loved it. I listened to the recordings in the car. I read channel material. I had no idea I would ever do it myself, and I had no aspiration to do it. I just was happy to be someone who asked really thoughtful, thought-provoking questions in the hot seat with Abraham, and to absorb as much of it as I could. But little did I know that all that time, in addition to attending all those workshops, which gives you an attunement every time you're in the space of channeled energy, you're getting programmed by it. You're sort of absorbing it and channeling yourself while you're sitting there. Then at the same time, I had been meditating every single day for 10 years because I had kind of a chronic fatigue of, never feeling like I got a good night's sleep or a good enough night's sleep to make it through the day. So I'd always have to meditate. And I think those two things combined led me to early 2010, I'd be doing Reiki on someone, and all of a sudden my arms would start moving around by themselves. My head started to make the Stevie Wonder kind of infinity symbol. And my mouth started moving at one point, and I said, oh my God, am I going to channel? So that's January 2010. Then I kept doing Reiki on people, thinking this is obviously something I should be doing. And then in March, I had this huge experience with extraterrestrials that I think was a way of readying me for what was to come later on in the year, because I didn't believe that extraterrestrials played any sort of role in our lives. Like, I didn't think they had their place and their dimension, and we had ours, and I didn't think the two really intersected that much, other than like rare UFO sightings where they would sort of blip into our reality and then blip out. But
right.
I got really interested in ETs after having my own experience with them, where they started downloading energy into my body through the crown of my head in the middle of the night. And I was awake for it. But prior to it, I had a dream where I turned to a guy that I knew through Abraham, and I said to him, I understand now about the other beings. And he was a big ET enthusiast, so I knew by other beings I meant ETs. Yeah. And so as it was all happening, I started, first I was just blown away. It was the most incredible experience. It's indescribable, the amount of ecstasy I was feeling in my body. It just nothing else measures up to it. And so at first, all I was doing is saying, oh my God. And then I was begging for more. And then I was just saying, one more time, one more, please, more, please. And then when I thought about the dream, I thought, what does this have to do with that dream? What does this have to do with aliens? I got a huge surge of it through my body. And then I just started repeating the words aliens, 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 because I just wanted to feel like, it was like being hooked up to a drug.
Yeah.
You're sitting in a hospital bed and you can press the button and give yourself more.
Right. More.
And then I started asking them questions. And if the answer was yes, they would give me another surge of energy. So I had this conversation of sorts with them. And then I thought, maybe I'll see you in the room if I open my eyes. So I open my eyes, I look around, I don't see them. But I start feeling the energy flooding in again like it was at the very beginning. And I don't know that if that had something to do with my expectation and my excitement, and it opened me up more. But the whole time, I thought at first I was just getting a healing, because I had this chronic pain in my body, and I was always asking for, help consciously and subconsciously. And then I get this huge download. But I think it was really about readying my body to channel the higher frequency beings that I would bring in later. So then cut to 7 months later, I've done some attempts to channel, and I've tried to get that feeling back in my body, and I can give myself full body goosebumps and things like that, but I'm not getting close to what I was experiencing that night. So I'm at an Abraham workshop, and I'm dry heaving because I'm feeling the energy so much in the room, and I'm tuning into it. And I said, okay, my friends actually convinced me, you got to ask Abraham about this. So the next day I'm sitting there and my hand raised itself, because I wasn't raising my hand that day. I was just kind of, absorbing everything. And my hand goes up by itself. And by the time it gets to the top, the person who is in the hot seat gets up and gets out, and my hand's all the way up, and she calls on me, which, it was just such the whole thing was just so magical, because they told me, you're going to do this thing that Esther's doing right now. And I did not expect to be encouraged. I expected to be admonished for trying too hard, for trying to make something happen that wasn't supposed to happen. So when they told me that, when I got that green light, I had at the time been Skyping with this woman that I met on an Abraham cruise in London. She lived in London. I lived in LA. We had a long distance relationship. So we were already Skyping 4 times a week for 4 to 6 hours at a time. So what we did was we just added to those conversations time where I would sit to channel. And basically when I first started channeling, my mouth, my head, and my neck would just move around and make all these weird faces and distortions. And I felt the tension in my neck and in my face, but nothing was coming out of me. So I was really frustrated, because I knew, obviously this is going to happen. I don't know what I'm doing to block it, or, started getting down on myself a little and impatient. But then eventually it did happen, and I spoke for the creators the first time in about November, somewhere in November. Could be exactly 14 years ago today. I'm not sure. I did my date.
Wow. That would be cool.
That's how it all started.
That's cool. That's an amazing story. Your messages from the Arcturian Council often focus on ascension, manifestation, healing. Could you share an example of a powerful message that you feel is deeply resonated with your audience?
My audience, they tell me that it resonates with them, but they don't. And I've heard people say to me things like, oh, your channeling has saved my life, and things like that, but they don't get so specific. But I would say that what the Arcturians' message has been, in a nutshell, is that the way for us to grow and evolve consciously is to accept as being the first step, and then forgive, and then others and ourselves too. Sometimes we have to forgive ourselves, and then have compassion, and then finally get to the place of unconditional love. Because really what we're all ascending towards is source. We're ascending to a new dimension of reality, but we're also ascending towards source, and source is that unconditional love. It is that single point of light that we're all moving towards to come together. And so that's been their message of how to get there, is to put those 4 steps into practice.
And that's what I get quite a bit out of the messages as I hear you channel those, especially with the Arcturian Council, for sure. So one of the things that you emphasize is personal empowerment and releasing resistance to manifest dreams. How can people practically apply this in their daily lives, Daniel?
Okay. Well, the first thing they have to do is they have to accept the truth, because this is one of those truths with a capital T. It's not circumstantial. It doesn't depend on what dimension you're in. We are creating all of this, 100% of it, 100% of the time. If people don't accept that the plant that's sitting in the room with them is a manifestation of theirs, and when I say that, I mean it literally. I don't mean they manifested the $15 to go out and buy the plant. I mean, they're looking at a plant that they're actually creating in real time that's sitting on the table in front of them. Then if you can't get there, it's going to be really hard to accept that you have a power that goes beyond what you're able to use your words and your actions, your ability to go out and get something or earn money to buy something, because there is this power in the universe of attraction. That's what Abraham talks about all the time, where we're not really attracting things to us like a magnet. We're really going to the reality where that is what we'll be creating in that reality for ourselves to experience. So it's a little convoluted and difficult for the mind to understand, but there isn't just one earth, one reality, one you, one me. It's all this multifaceted, multidimensional experience of traveling as a spirit to these different bodies to inhabit them, where there's different things going on. And really, when a person realizes that, they know that anything is possible. And if anything is possible, then it's just a matter of being in vibrational harmony with it. And sometimes for a lot of us, that just means letting go of all the stuff that tells us that we're not. So all the past failures in our lives. I failed at a lot of things in life before I succeeded at this. You know what I mean?
Completely resonate.
Great
resonate. Yeah.
Great screenwriter. I wanted to do all these things, and I wound up here.
Yeah. That's amazing. One of the things that I just really resonated with, and it goes back to Abraham, and I've been a student of Abraham forever as well, as you have, not as deep as you have gone with all of those cruises and all of those workshops that you've personally attended. But one of the things that, to me, about the message from Abraham that resonates so deeply with me, and you just mentioned talking about getting your vibrational frequency to match up with, say, what that desire is. So I think we know energetically when we desire something, it's there vibrationally, but maybe we're down here and we have to raise our vibration. And you touched on it a little bit about getting rid of a lot of the blockage in our lives, the baggage, the samskaras, whatever it is that's holding us back to get it up to this point. Because, when I hear Abraham talking about it, they make it seem really simple. Oh, all you have to do, Rick, is just raise your vibration up to where the vibration of this desire exists in the vortex, and you get it. It's like, okay, but I got to go all the way up here to do it. How do you advise people? What's some of the steps that people can take to get that vibration level up to that point where they're matching that vibration of manifestation of desire?
Well, like I said, with the teachings of the Arcturians, that first step of acceptance, that's not just about accepting other people so that you can get along with them and get to the place where you're being that unconditionally loving being. It's also accepting all the circumstances of your life, because always there are circumstances of our lives that we would like to be different. We would like that to change, and that aspect to change, and that person to change. And until we accept, we cannot lower the resistance that's within us. And lowering the resistance within us is the easiest way to raise your vibration. You don't have to be jumping up and down with joy. You just have to stop holding yourself down energetically and vibrationally by focusing on your life in a way that doesn't feel good, where you're going, but I should have done this, or I missed out on that, I failed at this, I like I said, I really had this desire to write screenplays and have the biggest Hollywood actors be in those movies that I had written and stuff, and I could still be lamenting the fact that that didn't happen, or I could look back at it and go, it was kind of like my earliest experience with channeling as I was writing, and it was so easy and everything flowed to me. These images came in my head, and there were movies playing in my head that I could put down on paper. And so you have to be able to look at your life and your circumstances and everyone in it in such a way where you go, okay, this is what it is, and not only is it not that bad, but I can make the best of it. I can make it even better with my focusing upon it in such a way. And so, yeah, you could just try to ignore all of the things in your life that aren't going the way you want to and say, what can I do today that's fun? And I'll go out and I'll do those things. But at some point, it's going to pop into your head and you're going to have to do that work.
Yeah.
And that really is the work that we're all doing, is changing the way we perceive our reality so that our reality can change.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you work with a wide range of beings, right? From archangels to extraterrestrials. What's it like to connect with such diverse energies and do their messages vary significantly?
It feels pretty similar to me in that, well, some of them are very feminine, and I feel that femininity, and some are more masculine feeling, and like Archangel Michael and sounding. I sound like Batman when I'm channeling.
Yeah.
So it's it's different coming through. The process is the same every time. All I've ever had to do to channel is like close my eyes, focus on opening up the channel, and it happens. But it comes through oftentimes, especially at first when I'm first making a connection with a group or a being, comes through as light language, tones, and then eventually I start to go, okay, let's do some of this in English now. Like I'll make that conscious choice to speak, and then usually like a few words start coming out. And so that whole process feels the same to me every time, because it's energy. We're channeling energy. We're not being occupied by the beings themselves in a possession type of thing. It's more like we're all being sent energy all the time, and we are either opening up to it or tuning ourselves to the frequency of it so that we can receive it, or we're not, and we're staying on that lower vibe plane where all we're getting are the thought forms of our parents and the beliefs of our society and all these things that are floating around for us to channel as well, but channeling from that place of not really ever taking the time to say, well, what else is out there? What else could I tune into? And as New Agers, a lot of New Agers think like, well, anything that goes against the grain is what I should believe or what I should tune into. And so they'll start thinking like in terms of, well, if the news says one thing and this person on the internet is saying that thing instead, and they're contradicting what the news is saying, then I should be paying attention to that person because that's what it means to be awake. But I would say you need to go higher than that. You need to go higher than the conspiracy theory channel.
Yes.
On YouTube. You need to go to your higher vibrational state where you're getting those very calm, soothing, reassuring messages that are very positive in nature and that are not at all about pointing fingers at who the bad guys are on the planet. And so when people do that and they receive their own messages, it's a game changer. It really lets people know you're never alone. You always have help. There are all these energies out there, all these transmissions that you can easily download as soon as you put your mind to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And to that point as well, there's a lot of listeners I know that are curious about connecting with their own guides. What advice would you offer to someone wanting to open up to these higher dimensional connections?
Well, they're always around. So you don't have to reach far. They have their attention is on you. They know your every thought already. They know your every your every desire already. So, it's not about you getting louder with your speaking out to them, although they do like it when you speak to them. And it is good for us to speak to them because it's a show of faith for ourselves, where we're saying, okay, I believe I have help, and I believe in it so much that I'm willing to speak out loud to these beings. And then you can feel for them as these orbs of energy over your shoulders and over the crown of your head. And when I channel about guides for people, the beings I channel always say, there's an angelic one above the crown, and you can feel for that being there. There's a feminine one over on your left shoulder, and there's a masculine one over on your right shoulder. And those are your three main guides, and you have more guides than that even. But if you focus on those areas and on their support, their feelings of unconditional love for you, their support, their wisdom, and maybe the archetype that you intuitively know they represent, like it might be a fairy guide over your left shoulder and a high priest guide over your right shoulder or something, and you're tuning into that essence, then you're more likely to receive, maybe you're going to not receive a little voice in your head, which everybody wants because it's so undeniable, but maybe you're going to receive an impulse, an intuitive hit, an idea, something, a feeling, something inside of you that is their way of communicating with you. And you can even go so far as to imagine your crown of your head opening up and creating that space for your guides, the three spheres of energy to come in and go right down into your heart, and then feel for their presence there inside of you, so that there's no separation, there's no disconnection from your guides. It's not possible, but if you give yourself the visceral experience of that, then it becomes more real to the average person, and they can start to believe, okay, there is something happening, and even though it's happening inside of me, it's still them and their desire to speak to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I'm going to have in the show notes is I'm going to have a link to your upcoming channel course, which I know you're offering right now. Can you touch a little bit on that course and how that works?
Yeah, it's we meet by Zoom 2 hours a month. So we do one class a month, so everybody has time to practice what they learn in that class before the next one, because we're always going to be going up to different, more specific beings. And like, I think it's easier to channel your spirit guides and your higher self than it is to channel ET. So we work our way up from spirit guides, higher self, archangels, ascended masters, fairies, ETs. But I also do classes on toning, because toning can really open up your throat chakra. Light language, which is a way that a lot of people begin the channeling experience, is through channeling light language. And then the first class is just like an intro to channeling. But in every class, the second hour is reserved for the exercises I take people through, so that they can open up and channel themselves right there in the class with themselves muted, and a lot of people turn their camera off, so it's all private what you're doing in your own home while you're a part of the course. But then it's all recorded, so anybody who can't make it to that live class will get the recording and be able to watch the video of it after. So I've done it. This is my 13th time doing it. I love doing it. I love watching people emerge as channelers, and it's just my favorite thing to talk about. So, well,
and I think what most people don't realize is as they're watching, depending on where someone is at in their personal awakening path, whatever, they'll watch someone like yourself, or many others, Angie Hipple, whoever it happens to be, channeling. They'll think, wow, that is really, really something. And what they don't realize is all of us have the ability. All of us have the ability to channel, and you are one of the individuals that create that opportunity to be able to really show people how to tap into it, how to, I went through, not all that long ago, several months ago, I went through Sarah Landon's channeling course, right, with Sarah. And it's amazing. I mean, it's just like a whole other world when you open that up. But I haven't taken it to anywhere near the level that a lot of like folks like you have taken it. Mine is just kind of more personal conversation with my angelic guides, and they do speak to me. They do. I can hear them speaking. I can feel their energy, but I've not taken it to the point, Daniel, where you talk about where being able to connect with other beings, being able to call others in, whether it's Archangel Michael, whether it's extraterrestrials, that type of thing. So I think for me, it's just cool to be able to know that you have the ability to tap into that source that you know is there. It's there with you, but to actually have that feeling, that energy feeling within your body, and have them speak to you and answer questions is pretty amazing. It's an amazing feeling. So I think, I encourage as many people as I can to say, you can do it. You can really do this. So, I mean, get a resource. And this is a great resource. I think you're a fantastic resource. So I encourage folks to really look into that and check that out. And like I said, it'll be in my show notes here for people to tap into. So one of the other things that I know you have going on, and I just ordered my copy. Thank you. Channeling Archangel Michael, 7 Signs of Humanity's Ascension. There it is right there. Hello. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Yeah, I love the cover. It's
my client, who's an artist, came up with that, and I came up with the idea. She put it together, and it's really funny, this world that we live in today of so many things to choose from for people. And so I'm a student of like what works, and I realized that people seemed to really like my books about Ascension. So I have other books that are just called Channeled Wisdom from Higher Dimensional Beings, and they don't sell nearly as well as the ones that are about Ascension. And then also Signs, the channeling I did with Archangel Michael on Signs for YouTube was one of the most watched ones of his or theirs, And so when the whole thing came to me to put this out as a book, I knew like that would be a good title for it to grab people's attention. But I had no idea how well it would do. It's like selling way better than any book I've put out.
Didn't I see or hear that it just recently, within the past day or two, hit the number 1 on the
number 1 for maybe a few minutes. I don't know how long it stayed there, but I don't know.
Did you get a screenshot of it though?
I did.
Okay, good.
And I texted to my wife right away.
That's awesome.
And then it slipped back down to 4. It's been 2. It's been at number 2 a lot. It's I'm now starting to really promote it. So let's see what happens.
Absolutely. I encourage everybody to get their hands on it, because I know it's got what's the number, like a couple of hundred channel messages, over 200. Yeah. I'm excited about reading it myself, because it'll be cool, even though I've seen a number of your videos where you're channeling Archangel Michael, but being able to see it in print and refer back to it and go back to, hey, I remember, it's somewhat easier than trying to like go through the video catalog and go, okay, where was that again? Where did he say that? No, that's so cool. I love it in that particular format. So I think one last question, and we'll kind of start to wrap this up. But your work, Daniel, has touched so many lives. What's the one message or maybe insight you hope listeners are going to take away from our conversation today?
Well, I always want people to understand how powerful they are, because I think it's really easy in today's world, especially when you're talking about following people who are spiritual teachers, who are channelers, doing whatever they're doing out there in the new age world, for people to just give their power away and say, oh, so-and-so is saying this is going to happen, or so-and-so is saying that we're doomed to have all these natural disasters, and this is what really is going on in Gaza or Ukraine or something, and people are not necessarily feeling empowered as much by the spiritual teachers that have emerged in the past since I started doing this. So many different people are out there with their hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, and I just want people to know that it's really up to all of us. And it's like Gandhi said, you have to be the change you want to see in the world. And there isn't just one future. We're not all hurtling towards this one future that's inevitable, other than there are certain things that are happening, like we are ascending. We are going to expand our consciousness to include extraterrestrial life forms living amongst us. Those kinds of things will happen just because that's the nature of reality. But everything else, everything having to do with the earth and the politics and the ecology, the not just the economic system, but like the environment, everything it's up to us to focus our way into those realities we want to experience. And we absolutely can expect that what we focus on will be getting bigger and being reflected to us. And that kind of empowerment is what I always want people to walk away from, not this idea of, well, what's my karma? What was my pre-birth contract with that person? What are the things I'm destined or doomed to experience in this life, which puts people in this place of feeling very small and like they don't have any control over their lives. But we really do. And the more we exert that control, the more we see the evidence of it.
That's great. Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. And just again to remind everybody, down in my show notes down below, I'll have all of Daniel's links, all the different ways that you can interact with Daniel. And there's a lot of ways. He's got a lot of great content on his site. He's got a lot of great resources. He's got books, videos, courses, and I really encourage you to check out the channeling course. But you've got a couple of other things I know coming up as well, right? That you're doing. I know you've got you've got so much that you're doing, and I really appreciate that. I know that you've got there's an event that you're doing in Sedona, right, in January?
I'll be channeling with one of my heroes, Daryl Anka, at that event, which is so great to be able to share a stage with someone like Daryl Anka and his level. And, Wendy Kennedy will be there too, Gothier, Lisa Royal Holt, all these channelers I really admire and look up to. And Rob is the organizer. He keeps adding more people to the event because there's more than one space where things are going on. And it's in Sedona, the 3rd through the 5th, and it's called the Channel Panel. So if you just Google the Channel Panel and then Sedona, it will come up as a top.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. That's awesome. Daniel, thank you so much for sharing your incredible insights and your energy with us today. It's been a pleasure having you on Wake Up Laguna, and I hope to speak to you again really soon.
That'd be great, Rick. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Daniel. Bye now.
Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that interview as much as I enjoyed doing that interview with Daniel. He is just an amazing human being, just a really beautiful soul. And he's got so much wisdom that he has acquired, really, I think, through his studies, through his channeling, his connection to Source and to his guides is just an amazing thing to hear. What I'd love to share with you is one of his channeling sessions. So I've got that queued up, which I'm going to play for you. First thing we're going to do is play a couple of promo spots. And by the way, you're listening to Wake Up Laguna right here with Rick Jorgensen on KXFM Laguna Beach 104.7. And he's got a very unusual style of channeling. Channelers come in just different flavors, different types, different approaches to their channeling. Daniel is probably one of the most unique channels that I have come across, certainly, in how he gets into the actual channel message itself. And there might be 2 or 3 minutes of just this tonality coming from him as he connects into the energy. And he's one of the only people that I've come across that has that technique. A lot of folks just kind of need to go into like a meditative state. Some of them are trance channelers, where they actually go into a trance state where they don't have a lot of awareness of what is being said as they're channeling. Other people can just channel, and they're very aware of what they're speaking, or it's being spoken through them. So let me play these promo spots, and then we'll jump right into to Daniel's transmission with his guides right here on KXFM, Wake Up Laguna.
Join me, Chris Amadeo, on Vagabond Soul Radio, Wednesdays 8 to 10 p.m. on KXFM. It's a deep dive into the music and zeitgeist of the entire decade of the 70s. Join me, 8 to 10 p.m. Wednesdays on KXFM. Tune in, turn on.
My name's Luella Arrows, and you can catch my show Dream Gaze Overtone, Friday nights, 5 to 7. We'll be grooving together to sounds of the underground, tunes with general behind-the-times beat, and heavy doses of reverb-laden ambiance. Dream Gaze Overtone, Friday nights, 5 to 7 on 104.7 KXFM, Laguna Beach.
Hello, and welcome to Beth and Steve's Mondays. I want to just say we're so happy to be a part of this thing that's going on here. Every hour, you don't know exactly what it's going to be because nobody knows exactly what they're going to be doing. That's how I operate anyway.
Tune into KXFM on Monday mornings at 11 o'clock for Music and Mirth with Beth and Steve Wood. First class community radio in Laguna Beach. It's KXFM.
Laguna's Community Radio. For you. We are the creators. We are a 12th dimensional collective of non-physical beings. And we are here to help. We know that many of you are facing bigger challenges than you would ever choose for yourselves in this moment. And we know that you are missing the point of the challenge when you feel overwhelmed by it. The challenge is always there to get you to grow and to take the expansion that is being offered to you by the circumstances of your life. Sometimes you are meant to take a detour. Sometimes it is better for you to do something else than what you originally aspired to do. There are many cases, many examples where you started moving in a particular direction and then faced an enormous challenge. When the challenge was too big for you to overcome and get past, you still had the opportunity for growth, and you were also being shown an alternative route or something that was better than what you had originally desired and drawn up for yourself using your imagination. And so it is best for you all to see every challenge right now as an invitation for you to become more of who and what you really are as a source energy being. It is good for you to let go of the idea that struggling is the best way to face a challenge. It is good for you to let go of the idea that it is supposed to be hard. Instead, ask yourself how you can change in the face of what you are facing. And look to your own soul's evolution and growth as the ultimate experience that you are meant to have, no matter what the challenge is and no matter what the circumstances are. It is easier for you to grow spiritually than it is for you to climb every mountain that is in front of you with struggling, trying, hard work, and so on. Let everything that shows up in your life be something for you other than what it appears to be. And whatever you do, don't chastise yourself for being a bad creator. Don't get down on yourself for having put this block in your path. It doesn't have to be seen that way or experienced that way. And you are so much better than you think you are at being creative. And so sometimes a challenging situation will get you to be more creative than you would have been if everything had gone according to plan and had gone smoothly. You are what this experience of your life is all about. You are the end result of your life experience. And when you get too focused on the details of what is out there, you miss the bigger picture, the point of all of this, which is the refinement of you, the expression of you, the growth of you. Now is the time for you to realize these things and to keep going in spite of all the challenges that are in front of you, to keep growing through those challenges because you acknowledge that is why they are there. And you can recognize by how you feel whether you are going with the flow, whether you are taking the expansion, the growth. When you are not, ultimately, you will probably give up. And in that moment of giving up, you might just let it all in and give yourself all the experiences you have ever wanted. That is something that we want for you, but we want you to get there without having to struggle yourselves into a moment of despair that leads to that surrender, that leads to that ultimate giving up. So change the way you are looking at the blockages in your life as they are right now, and you can experience a wonderful expansion of self right here and right now with nothing out there having to change one bit. We are the creators, and we love you very much.
That was a fabulous message from Daniel Scranton and the creators that he had just channeled. And I love that. I love the perspective that they give. I love that the wisdom, the knowledge that they give all of us in their messages. And it's just I think, a fantastic way really to be able to connect with really I don't even want to use the word the other side. It's not the other side. It's just, it is what is. It's just, it's out there. It's all around us constantly. We, for the most part, just don't have that awareness. So anyway, that was fantastic. I am going to be wrapping up for the day. It's been wonderful to be with you all here today once again on Wake Up Laguna on KXFM. I really feel blessed. I feel honored that I have this time slot every Wednesday morning from 7 to 9 to be able to share with you guys and bring on special guests like Daniel Scranton and be able to do the types of meditations and work that we did in the first hour with RJ Spina. Really, really special stuff, and I love doing that. I love you all. I want you all to have a wonderful week. I'm going to leave you with a beautiful light language transmission for balance and healing from my good friend Katie Horton. You'll enjoy this, and then a beautiful song that'll kind of play us out and into the next hour, where you will be hearing music and getting tunes from our very own Jason Fetty. So again, have a wonderful rest of your week. Be safe, be loving, be kind, and I'll see you next week.
Hello, beautiful light beings. This is a light language activation / transmission. I am in the forest / mountains of Montana, and I'm going to connect the elementals to the beings of the earth, to the trees, and to any other energies, frequencies of the light that are around me where I am right now by this beautiful lake. So I hope you enjoy. Get in a comfortable position, and we're going to jump straight into it. I was hearing balance, harmony, and love. So those are some of the energies that we're going to transmute today and / send to you today. Apologies, there's lots of horseflies, so and hopefully the wind won't be too loud, but yeah, I hope you enjoy and just get comfortable, and we will transmit some frequencies to you. Tonto ke ampoko ya we antakia shantiara ki ampoko we antiara ki atia ki atia untoko awe ampoki sintia ki antia moko ya we ampoko ante kia sante awe shontoko awe antaki antekia siatia ki ampoko awe anta